So, good morning once again. We are here to discuss about a certain topic, class. Introduction to the philosophy of the human person. Mo itong subject, no? And we are so as you have noticed, what ta magbutang og kuan diri no topic, because I will be asking you to guess the topic. Okay, take a look at the kuan, the possible name of the topic. All right. Before we begin, we will start our session with a prayer. Okay. Let us all bow down our heads as we make a prayer. Lord, we offer this day to you. Through your divine guidance, may we achieve our objectives for today. May we learn well and listen attentively to our teacher. May we accept the knowledge imparted to us, O Lord. So this meeting shall be accomplished for your greater glory. Lord, grant us the energy and spirit to participate in this activity. Grant us the brilliance to understand today's lesson. Grant us the tools and equipment to stay connected throughout the duration of this class. And guide us from the beginning until we bring this session to its successful completion. As we start this class today, O Lord, we pray that you keep us safe and healthy, so we will be able to unite with one another in the future. And glorify your holy name. All of this we ask in your powerful name. Our Father in heaven, forever and ever. Amen. Okay, now we'll be singing our school hymn, so please, everybody participate in singing our hymn.
In the heart of a beautiful sea lies a precious sports academy. Hail to your humble honesty, let your blades shine through infinity. Thou gives the great our captors, for dear beloved our matter. Thou provide a healthy body and mind, honesty, teamwork, and passion we find. Give associates a reply, guiding forever be our guide. We raise our torch with heads up high, our oath and commitment our guide. Ormoc Regional Sports Academy, our leading stands ready in glory. We your children, believe in loyalty, our man for eternity. Thou molded our young hearts hearts and innocence, persevering for our quest towards excellence. Inculcate discipline and modesty, perpetually honor our dignity, shall uphold and strengthen our motto. Shine for old God, we build our faith and trust, nurturing champions to the world we trust, till souls see our sacred pride, dying forever divine. We raise our torch with heads up high, our oath and commitment are thine. Ormoc City Regional Sports Academy, guiding stands bearing in glory. We, your children, will lead loyalty, our manner for thee to eternity. We're our manner for thee through eternity.
Alright, so once again, please take a look at our topic for today. Oh, tanawahan niya, human, kung kinsay makaunang tagna, we'll get a very big points. Okay, so what I know, before we delve into our topic class, before ta magsugod ato sa main topic, we'll be activating your prior knowledge. Okay, test na to if na ba mo'y gamay nga understanding. Let's check your understanding about this topic that we are about to discuss. Okay, now we will be playing Kahoot. Okay, so I want you all to type kahoot.it in your browser. Okay? Okay, so nakita ninyo sa screen, guys. Nakita niyo sa screen ang atong game pin. Kita ra?
Yes,
Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, so everybody, I want you all to go to right in your browser, kahoot.it. They type ang game pin nga 146940. Ay, good. Hey, congratulations dong, Nathaniel. Nakasuda ka. Kyle, hanapos Kyle. Good. Okay. So, I think this is enough already, no? Okay na kayo, okay na kayo ni, kay nakaabot ang 23. Some of the students weren't able to get in the game. Pwede rin nyo i-type ang inyong kuan, ha? You can just type your... Wow, thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, sa katong wala pa makasulod sa tong game, no? Excuse me. So, wala pa makasulod sa tong game, you can just type your answers directly sa comment section na para ako ba na ma-review niya para magraduhan gyud punta mo. Okay? Ang uban re basig nakatuog balik, no? Dami kay panahon bugnaw kay ba. So, let's start, ha? Let's start. Okay, alert. Guys, alert. Be alert. Intro to Philosophy, Quarter 2. True or false? Freedom means the ability to choose our own government. What's the answer? Is it true or false?
True.
Oh, you write it in your kuan. You click, i-type lang sa chat box doon sa katuwa makasod sa game. Ang naa sa game, i-click dito sa inyong kuan, sa inyong phone. Do not say it.
What's itong question, sir?
Pas-pas kayo, no? Yeah. Sa'yo na kayo eh. The question is, freedom means the ability to choose our own government. No? Freedom ko no, naatay, ang pasabot ko sa freedom naatay ability para mo pili sa itong gobyerno. Is it true or false? Okay, very good. There are 19 people who got it correct. Only 2 people got mistake. Okay, Jemlem, truth. Okay, that's correct. Let's see who is in our leaderboard. Ang pinaka-uptick na mo suwat, si Marian, followed by Sheila. Okay, third, si Ali. Congratulations. Next. Okay, be alert, be alert. Freedom means being able to live our personal lifestyle. Being able to live our personal lifestyle. Is it true or false? 20 seconds. Hey. We have 21 answers. Abdi ka, pas-pas mo answer na. Okay. Some are answering in the chat box. Okay, don't worry ha. Your scores are recorded. Okay, only one got a mistake. That's good. Okay, 22 got it all correct. Marian, who got first place, followed by Sheila, then next Ali. Next question. Freedom is a condition in which you have restrictions in opportunity to speak, act, and pursue happiness. Right, 22 answers. Let's pause, eh? Makakuha perfect answer ani automatic. 25 points. Okay, 14 got wrong. Okay, freedom is a condition in which you have restrictions. Okay, it's false, di ba? Unsa gyud restrictions gani? Anyone? Unsa na restriction?
Hindi pwede, sir.
Di pwede or pugnan ka, di ba? Di ba? Kung mingo gi-restrict, pugnan ka, so meaning wala kay freedom. That's why the answer is false. Okay. Next question. Okay, si Marian Alabuan. Sheila is now the first place, followed by Marian, then next si Ali. Okay? Next question. Okay. Freedom means being safe and secure from threats that endanger us like disease, poverty, and political expression. Okay. Freedom daw kay makahatag na to og safety and security from the threats in life. Okay. Some are answering in the chat box. Okay, good. Okay, very good. Majority of the students got it all correct. 24, only 2 people got mistake. Okay, once again, Sheila at the top, followed by Marian, then Ali. Next.
Turun sa roto pin, sir. Quit ako.
Agoy, nakalimut ko sa pindong. Yara ha, kita ba kami diri na? Biyan akong kita.
49.6.
14694.
1469.
14694.
Okay.
0.
Okay, thank you. Pero kung di gani kaso, di type your answer in the chat box ha. Freedom is important because it leads to enhanced expressions of creativity, original thought, and increased productivity. What's the answer? Okay, very good. Everybody got all correct. Next. Okay. Kian just hit answer streak 5. Okay, very good. Straight, correct 5 answers. Next. Patrick. Driving his car without registration and license will lead to positive consequences. Okay. What do you think is the answer, guys? Drive ko ni Patrick sa iyang sakyanan. Way rehistro, way lisensya. Pero okay ra. Is it true or false? Okay, some are answering in the chat box. Very good. Okay, 3 people got it wrong. Okay. It's okay. Anyway, majority got the correct answer. Hinahinahil answer kay Dugay, Masin, ako, Maluoy. It's okay, Day. As long as I can see your answers sa chat box, so problema na siya, Day. Okay? Of course, sayop siya, di ba? Huh? Positive, will it lead to positive consequence? When you are driving a car that is walay rehistro, walay lisensya, of course, it will lead to a negative consequence, no? Sa may negative consequence, ani, kung madakpan ka, o impound ang imuhang kuan, sakyanan or imuhang motor. Yeah? Mo man na siya, impound man na.
Violation, sir.
Oh, murag, madubli ba? Madubli imong violation. No? Kay, laita na, checkpoint. Nam, dito checkpoint, bisag asa, no? Check asa yung register lisensya, wa kayo kapakita. So, that's a negative consequence sa imuhang side, di ba? So, that's why it's false. Okay. Okay, next question. By the way, still Sheila at the top. Pabtik ka na Sheila. Nawala na mas Marian. Basig nahina siya internet. Followed by Ali. And third, Verna. Congratulations. Next. Alvin is a responsible person when he used all his income in supporting the needs of his family. Responsable ba si Alvin?
Depende, sir.
Depende.
Ayaw
Usahay dili. Usahay responsable. Okay, responsable ba si Alvin kung iyang gigamit yung income sa pagsuporta sa iyang pamilya? Okay, isa. Very good. Okay, naiusa na sayo. Answer false, no? Okay. Ano man, of course, responsable nga pagkatao si Alvin. Kaya wa niya giusig-usikan yung kwarta instead of magpalit sa mga laing butang, no? Like motor baron or kuan. Kung may mabutang cellphone baron, na siya cellphone, palit pa dyan siya laing cellphone. Oh,
Wow, gipalit og sudan, sir.
palit na siya teleskopyo, palit na po siya laing teleskopyo, ano ba?
Agoy.
Wow, sir, ako gipalit og sudan.
Yeah. So, na ba? There are things that with kuan, pero sa hay ganda nindot mo di palit sa atong mga gusto ko, no. Diba? Di man dyan malikayan, kinsa man siguro. In a kuan lang, in a idealistic nga scenario, no? Ang person that is responsible is the one who supports mo, support pa dito sa pamilya, no? That's why this scenario, okay, this is true. Sakto na siya. Okay, next. Okay, still leaderboard. Sheila number 1, Verna and Mitch third. Next. Ervin used all his income in upgrading his motorcycle. Is an obligatory deed. Okay? Obligasyon ko na ni Ervin nga kinahanglan ma-upgrade jud yung motor nga di siya mawahi sa uban. Dapat paspas o kusgan iyang motor. Is it true or false? Okay, very good. 24 got it all correct. Only 1 got mistake. Okay? Of course, false. False, yeah, no. Di man na to. It's not an obligatory deed. Motorcycle, having a motorcycle is it a want or a need? Class?
Want.
Want, okay, want. Oh, want na siya. Because we can still live, no? We can still survive without this, okay? Most especially, kinahanglan dyan mo i-upgrade. Yeah, di ba? As long as makadagan pa na imuhang kuan, motor, why problema, di ba? So that's why it's false. It's not an obligation. It's not your obligatory deed. Okay, next. Okay, still Sheila number 1, Verna, then Mitch. Next question. Frezzy. Uy, nas Frezzy. Copied someone's song to please her mother is an example of a negative human act. Okay, what do you think is the answer? Para ma-please niya yung mother.
Kabad ni Frezzy.
Oh, kabad ni Frezzy. Uy,
Ayo pagingan na prezi.
pag-ani rin ha.
So, mga prezi, oy.
Okay. I hope everybody will get this right. Okay? Oh, nagyan pa na sa'yo, 5. Okay, ano ka, no? Okay. Frezzy copied someone's song. Gikopya niya ang kanta gikan sa internet. Niya, giklaim niya, iyaha. Yung bigita, nga, kuan yung kanta, bago na kong kanta, nindot kistanan, kuan. Sa kanta. Ha?
Sample daw kanta, prez.
Oh.
Ayaw kay mo uwan.
Okay, dapat bagong kanta ba? Kuan, kani. Sikat kistanan. Ako yung nagpasikat, ani. Yung madi dito yaha. Is it positive or negative? Of course, it's negative human act because she's claiming a property that is not hers. Di ba? Mura ka ni kawat, anak. But dili siya physical nga butang is an intellectual property nga gikuha niya. So that's why it's a negative human act. Last question. Okay? Still, Sheila. Oh, what yun yung challenge si Sheila? Da, grabe siguro pagtuunan ng Sheila gabi. Da. What yun siguro na siya natog. Okay? Huwag ka natog din, no? Okay, 10 out of 10. Neds. Oh, si Neds. Maayo ko nung tao si Neds. If he continuously supports his friend in flirting someone else's girlfriend.
Ayo pagingan na, Neds.
Gani ka, Neds? Kasuway ka ni Neds?
Hindi mo na mayonnaise.
Yung na mayo, Neds. Ayo na,
Bad
Neds.
na sir.
Undangan na Ned.
Ayun eh.
Focus tayo sa full class.
Very good. Okay. Correct tanan. Okay. Di maayo nga tao si Neds. Di ba? Iyang gisuportahan na iyang amigo. Although dili siya
Sinood dyan. Di ba yung tao si Neds?
True kay na, sir.
Although dili si Neds ang
Ang si Mayla.
although dili si Neds ang ni-flirt. Si Neds ba ni-flirt? Dili no. Yung ligo.
Sige, mag-adlaw ka on.
Oo. Diba? So it's not good.
Flirty
Dapat
ba?
unsa day angay buhaton ni Neds, di ay.
Ay, ba?
Unsa may angay isol buhaton ni Neds. Alvin, sa buhaton ni Neds angay dog.
Dapat iya badlungon sir kay. Kuan mo
Good.
sir kanang
Okay?
makita man siya og kanang away ana og
Iya ilogon, sir.
Iya ipadayon. Iya ra siya
bitaw,
tolerate ang mga wrongdoing siya amiga.
Bitaw. Or basta gisuportaan ni Neds ang iyang friend nga mo flirt og lain para ang girlfriend sa iyang friend maadto lang ni Neds.
Budget si Neds, yun sir ba?
Ay, pinaka-budget si Neds.
Parang yan.
Diba? It's not a good thing, ha?
Tinuod
Dapat
sir.
badlungon jud. Okay, badlungon sakto tong ingon niya. Dapat badlungon nga uy di na maayo magibuhat friend. Okay, masakitan si kuana na. So undangan na siya. Okay?
Masakitan si Eric, sir.
Oh.
Masakitan
Hindi ka
si
gusto,
Mayla,
ihatag
sir.
na lang nako. Oh, di ba? Bakante man ko, ana si Nets, bakante mo ko, ihatag na lang nako. Di ba? Ana na lang. Okay. So let's see kinsa to ang podium no na sa third place is Mitch. Congratulations dai. Okay. Second place is Verna, then first place is Sheila. Okay, hilom-hilom man ni si Sheila. Tingin ko si Sheila pero she got the first place. Congratulations. Okay. Okay, let's go back to our topic. Okay. Consequences. Obligations. Okay, nag-check lang gyapon ta sa inyong understanding ha. Unsay masud sa tong una? What comes to mind when you hear the word consequence? Okay, good, Neds. Say, para nimo Neds, say consequence Neds.
Consequence, sir, kung kunahay nakagibuhat na di mao, mubalik ka para nimo nanay kapalit, sir ba?
Okay, nay kapalit, no? Okay, thank you Neds. Neil, Marson. Dili siyang kamot. Okay, Vincent, go Vincent, dong.
Kuan sir kanang resulta.
Resulta, very good. Okay, resulta sa gibuhat. Posible ba siya nga positibo ang resulta, positive or negatibo? Pwede ra po no. Can be positive, it could be negative. No. Diba? Ang
Yes, sir.
results can be positive or negative. Thank you dong. What about obligation? Kasi masud sa itong nauna kung na obligation. Let us call on Marian. Hey Marian, you were raising your hand.
Responsibility, sir.
Very good. Okay, Day. So pa another. Thank you, Day.
Ko-
Another.
Commitment,
Commitment kisa to, Mayla?
Mitch.
Oh, Mitch. Okay. Okay. Commitment. Obligation, you have the commitment. Very good. Okay? So, unsa man ni siya? Consequence and obligation. Consequence, ingon sila, resulta kung sa usa ka butang nga atong gibuhat. Obligation is commitment. Okay? Or responsibility or something that we are bound to do. Okay? Like a moral obligation. Okay? Okay, let's look at the slide class. Okay? Please, I want you to raise your hand kung if you want to say it. And I want you to kung sa uban if you cannot if you're shy to say it, you can just write it on the chat box. I will be giving you 3 situations or scenarios, okay? Then atong basahon ang scenario, then let's try to think of a possible consequence and what obligation unsa nga obligasyon ang dapat natong buhaton in this scenario, class. Okay? Let's see. Okay. Patrick, mao ni gani Patrick drove his car without registration and license. Okay? Unsa kaha ang atong consequences and obligation ani? Okay, Marian's raising his hand or her hand.
Consequence niya is he might be caught by a police and pay penalty. Then
Okay.
ang obligation, he should get registration and license.
Oh, very good, Day, Marian. Very good. Thank you, Day. Any other answers? Okay, Vincent, Ablen. Okay, Dong. You were raising your hand, Dong. No other answers? Okay. Sa chat box ko na itong tanawon ba kung nabay nagsuot?
Same answer, sir.
Same answer, Michaela. Okay. I think that's murag kuan siya on point jud siyang answer from Marian. Thank you, Day, ha. Na Patrick driving his car without registration and license, he may be able to get a penalty. Swerte siya, 'di ba? Kung wala yung checkpoint, 'di ba? Excuse me. Daghan man kay nagbuhat ani karon, 'di ba? 'Di ba, class?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Alvin, daghan nagbuhat ani nga nag-drive og kuan niya, walay registration lisensya. Kinsa man niya diri nabuhat ani. Daghan
Alvin.
damo.
Likay ras LTO.
Likay lang maski ako when I was still young like your age, no? Young manggihapon ko. Very young la day. When I was still very young, of course nagsugod man jud ko ani pod nga violate ani kay di man dali-dali ang pagkuwag lisensya, di ba? So, practice jud ta sa ato ang area, no? Practice og drive without registration and license. Okay ra na siya naara
Kay sir sa dako.
Okay ra na baron sa inyong subdivision or naara sa tungod sa inyong balay, guro nagpractice lang og padagan atras abanti, okay ra na siya. Pero kung imo nang dalhon bitus kuan sa main road na jud kana may delikado na, di ba? Okay ra gyud checkpoint, pero kung na-check mo niya balakpan ka, awa na, di ba? The worst case is ang imuhang sakyanan ma-impound or imong motor ma-impound. The moral obligation that we must do is, of course, before we start driving, we have to obtain a registration and license before driving our car. Okay, next. Janzen, kinsa man si Janzen entered in a no-label relationship. Ni suod sig relasyon nga walay label. Nay nakasuway ani dire.
Mayla.
sir.
Mayla.
Isa lang, sir. Si
Mikaela, sir.
Mayla.
Mikaela, sir.
Uy, kadaghan ba ninyo?
Damo lagi kita sila sir.
Atong pong tanong si Micaela, day. Unsa may consequence ani day? Micaela, day. Unsa may
Kana, sir.
day, Micaela, unsa may consequence kung musud tag relationship nga walay label?
Answer. There's one person in a no label relationship nga most nga masakitan jud.
Okay.
Nagmag-assume
Okay.
siya.
Most especially kato ganing namo jud ay sa inyong relasyon namo jud ay usa ka tawo diya nga mao mag-expect, di ba?
Pareha ni kan sir ni.
Naa, sir. Si Mikaela.
sir.
Uy.
Ni Clay. Ford,
Pareha
sir.
may
Kadaghan ba yung no label relationship? Butangin na gunog label good.
Sir na, butangin na lagi
Butangin
kayo.
na nag-label, okay? So day, unsa may obligasyon na to ani day, Micaela? Ato na lang yung lubos-luboson si Micaela. What is our obligation?
obligation sa isa ka tawo nga mohatag og assurance o commitment.
Obligation sa usa ka tawo nga mohatag assurance ug commitment. Okay? Kinsa may mohatag ani?
Both sir, both.
Both sides.
Both sides. Okay? So, ang dapat na aning buhaton nato day, are we going to confront the person? Huh?
Yes.
To confront? Are we going to say our feelings atong gibati para niya?
Oo, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it. That's our obligation.
Okay,
Okay, we have to
tagay
say
label.
our feelings. So, basig ka na siya nagpaabot na po na siya nimo, di ba? Oh, di ba? So, once na magka-confess na mo sa inyong feelings, right then and there's a possibility nga na mo label. Di ba? So, that's
Sir, kaya wala ito na
Sir,
i-label mo, sir.
malibela na inyong relationship. Unsa to dong, Eric?
Kunya, og di siya.
Oh?
Away label.
At also kung for example, why label? So right then and there, mawala na imuhang pag-assume o imuhang pag-expect, di ba? So you will move on.
Tinuod jud, sir.
Di ba? You will move on, di ba? Sakit man na nga imuhang magpabilin ka sa usa ka relasyon niya in the long run, wala ra day kay makuha nga something gikan niya, di ba? Or wala ray dili masuklian ang gugmang imong gihatag niya ba, di ba? Nakuha na to?
Yes, yes.
In the long run, the only one person will suffer, di ba? So that's it. We should not enter in a no label relationship. Okay, next. Last. Mana dai. Next. Mark uses digital devices in finishing his studies. Okay, what are our consequences and obligation? Okay, Marian Espinosa, you were raising your hand,
Sir, ang consequences niya, sir, is there might be errors when using digital devices and finishing studies. Then, ang obligation is finish your studies with less digital devices used.
Okay, thank you, Day, Marian. Okay, I'm sure there are a lot of answers. Ato ko na po ang uban. Thank you, Day, ha? What about the others? Okay, Myla, Day, unsa pa posibleng daghang consequence ani?
He might not learn
Myla?
anything about it, sir.
Okay, very good, Day. Okay, very good. Wa siya makatunan kay ngano gi-search man niya tanan. No. Is this familiar, class? Ugi pang ubo, no gi pang COVID. No, more familiar da. More familiar kini da. No?
Meron, hanungin na.
Ay, ano, sir.
Diba? So, daghan kay consequence ani no magamit ang digital devices. O usa to ganiha nga na errors nya napadyoy uban nato nga dili ta kabaw butan og legit nga sites, di ba? So we assume everything from the internet is correct. Pero dili day. In the long run, i-submit ato sa ato ang kuan, sa ato ang assignment baron or sa siya, wa ra gihapon useless imong pagkuan, di ba? So consequence ani, there's a positive and negative class. If you would be able to acquire the correct answer from the internet, no? So very good, you will get good grades. That's the result. Like ang atong because how we define consequence ganay is kuan man result man siya, di ba? So it could lead to positive or negative result. Ba? So that's good. Di ba? The negative side, the negative consequence is katong ingon ni Marian, or si may labot na igon, that there's a possibility that that person will not be able to learn anything, di ba? Of course, paspas atong kuan, maayo kay paspas lagi ang atong pag-search, atong pag-answer, paspas ang uban kay ang uban gani kay using digital devices pero dili na mag-search. Atura sa GC mo kuan, mo search, di ba? Scroll na sa GC dito. Kung asa man diri ang mga answer key. Okay? Nara dito. Will lead to negative effect in the long run. Kaya atong obligasyon, sa atong obligasyon ano? Atong sabton, understand and analyze the lessons first before resorting to digital devices, di ba? Of course, dako king tabang ang digital devices karon class, pero in the long run, kinsa may mag-suffer kung wa tay makatunan. Di ba? Kita ra gihapon. Oh, kita ay mag-suffer. So na tog college nga. Ay way alamag, di ba? Dili biya pwede nga eventually class mahuman naman dyan yung pandemic class. Mahuman naman dyan siya, then we will go back to face-to-face classes, di ba? Ang atong kadukan is kanang makuratan lang tayo di college during face-to-face kay during the live discussion of our teacher, di sa tungo-tubangan, dili biya ta pwede mag-search sa internet, di ba? So that's why we have to break this habit. I know it's hard to break this habit, but slowly, no? Slowly, let's break the habit of getting everything from the internet. Okay? Most especially if essay questions, di ba? Kanang essay jud class, supposed to be, dili jud na ikuha sa internet. Kay it is asking our own opinion and understanding about the certain question, di ba? So dapat all the answers should be taken jud sa tuang kuan from us, no? Pero sa inyong mga modules, murag pariham guro mo gunahuna tanan, no? pariham siguro mo idea tanan. Oh, gikan sa sinugdanan padong sa man pareha jud kasi. Kaya na nag-brainstorming munguro ni sila. Okay, so it's okay ra na klasa, basta just try to minimize in the class, okay? So karon taganon na to, kinsa may maka-answer?
Ako, sir.
Okay, tubag. Marian.
Ako, sir.
Ako, sir.
Freedom and
Responsibilities.
okay, very good.
Responsibility, sir.
Type your answers in your chat box. Type your answers in the chat box. Kaya ako nang i-record. Karon, right now.
Right now.
Right now. Right now. Alright, B. Let's see, B. Okay, ako ning ipang-record ko niya. Nagsuwat rin sa chat box sa topic. Very good. Freedom and responsibility is our topic. Very good. Everybody got it right? Okay, suwat. Kay graduhan. 10 points for each student who writes the correct answer. Okay.
Parehas may
Okay.
utok tanan, sir, no?
Parihasin mo utok tanan. Nag-brainstorm sila.
Ayaw na jud kay Bong sir, mo na mag-answer sa mo.
Hindi na ko mahibong anong pareha mag-answer tanan kay pareha jud mo utok. Okay, freedom and responsibility, that is our topic, class. Okay, so again, just taas sa introduction na sir. Introduction to the philosophy of the human person, freedom and responsibility. Pero, we already know what is freedom and responsibility, di ba? Kay asa man ito gikuha ang atong mga definitions, di ba? Through our katong mga activities ganiha, nakuha na to, we have taken a little bit about freedom and responsibility. But now we will be digging more about this topic. At the end of our mga objectives class, at the end of our class, we will be able to identify the different concepts related to understanding of human freedom, explain the relationships between human freedom obligation, say difference sa human freedom and obligation. Third is be able to distinguish human actions from acts of men. Lahi din na siya, sir. Lahi din na siya, class. Human actions and acts of men. Di din na sila parehas, class. Okay? Later on, we'll discuss what's the difference nila, sir. Fourth, we'll be able to distinguish intellectual choice from practical choice. Okay? Unaan ninyo daan na unsa may intellectual choice, what is practical choice? Then fifth, atong i-apply ang atong mga nakatunan, the concepts that we have learned to situations. Nato ihatag nga situation niya, atong i-apply siya, ha? Okay. Let us begin with what is freedom? What does it mean to you? Okay? Unsa man yung freedom, sir? Unsay pasabot ani para nako? Okay? Okay, please, put that in your mind kuno be. Isod sa atong mind. Okay? Freedom gani, class. Okay. Class, atong tan-awon ako ipakita nga short yung video clip. Okay? Naay usa ka vlogger ba ni siya or content creator ni go around siya sa tibok kalibutan. Then gipangutan nag each country nga iyang gituan iya gipangutan na unsay freedom para niya. Okay, tan-aw na to class. Okay? Then later on after we watch the video, I will also be asking you unsay freedom para ninyo. Okay? Okay, let's watch the short video. All right. Okay. So mo to no nagkalain nga meaning sa freedom sa tibok kalibutan na iniisulti dito nga freedom is time. Na po dito nga freedom is in existence. Wa kuno exist ang freedom. It doesn't exist. Naroon na sa utopia. Na po ningon dito nga freedom is being naked. Naiganahan na. Freedom is being na freedom. Ganahan, di ba? Mabita nang sa UP bitaw. Kanang kuan. Are you familiar with the oblation run sa UP? Are you familiar, guys?
No.
Oblation run. Have you heard about that?
Oh, sir.
Are you sure? Kana gani managan sila nga maghubo tanan taga UP. Magtabo na sila silang ulo. Di mo familiar na?
Oh, kita ko na sir.
Oo, na man na common man na siya sa UP. They call that the oblation run. It signifies also freedom. Kung ganahan mo buhat ana, eskwela mo to sa UP. Okay?
Neds, ganito Neds.
Oh. Okay.
Kaya,
mo to, no?
ako na nailigid.
Class, listen class. Freedom is a very is it a common word, class? Okay, hello.
No.
Common ba siya nga word, freedom? No?
Yeah.
Freedom is a common word. What part of speech is the verb? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Unsa man? La. Unsa man? La, unsa man? Be. Is it a verb, noun, pronoun, adjective?
Noun.
Noun, very good. Okay. What type of noun?
Action.
Si fraction na mo tong masama. Is it a common noun, proper noun, unsa man?
Common now.
What? Common noun?
Common noun.
Common noun. Okay? Napadyo na sila. It's an abstract noun. Okay? Why abstract, sir? Because we won't be able to touch it. Can we touch freedom?
Nope.
Nope. Yes, because it's only in our mind. So, pareha ni siya equivalent sa love, ugma, di ba? Care, happiness, same na sila og level, di ba? Common kay ang word nga freedom, class. Pero dili ta sometimes we do not know what is really the meaning of freedom, di ba? Di ba? Di ba sa katong gipakita ganiha nga video nagiuban nga nagduduha pa sa sulti unsay meaning sa freedom. They don't even know what is the meaning of freedom. Okay? But actually freedom has its different meanings, di ba? Lain ang meaning lagi na. I'm sure some of you has a different meaning of freedom. Let's try to ask kono be. Mutana ko na to sa uban be. Ato kung putana si Trixie. Dai Trixie, what is the meaning of freedom for you dai? Paspas nga kon. Quick answer. Okay, Frezi, what's freedom for you dai?
Parang answer.
Freedom is when you're really...
Okay. What? Okay, Trixie, let's go. Trixie, ikaw today. Okay, paspas lang ha, answer ha. Micaela, what is freedom for you?
Being able to do what you want.
Do what you want. Good, thank you. Myla.
Capable of doing things freely.
Okay, good. Yoday. Okay, Sheila.
You can do whatever you want without limits.
Okay, good. No limitations. I can do whatever I want. Bisa maghubo pa. Okay? Okay, Clifford.
Freedom is being myself in front of everyone.
Okay, being myself no nga wa kay paki unsa isulti nila basta ako ipakita unsa akong unsay ako ang kuan. I will express whatever I want to express. Okay. Chumasera. Okay, wala na. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay, thank you no. Lain-lain dito og meaning sa freedom, class. As you all know, class, kaning word nga freedom, class, abing abuse kini nga word, class, no? Ato ning ipang gamito na to kada adlaw, no? Freedom of speech, freedom of thought, nga na ugngan gali kasi mo mamamulak ka, sa magkamawa po freedom, di ba? Abuse kay siya nga word, okay? Sometimes it is misunderstood, no? During these times, no? Kay tungod lagi kay kuan, pandemic, for example, alert level 3. naanad na mo nga moari sa eskwelahan, di ba, class? Then just lately gibawalan mo pagari sa eskwelahan, di ba? Are you being withheld of your freedom kung gibawalan mo, class? Yes, you withheld mo. Yes, you are being withheld. And sometimes this is misunderstood nga wala ka gaid freedom. Pero class, it is being done because we have the moral obligation. Naman may obligasyon pud, class, di ba? So mo na siya. Sometimes it has been misunderstood. Okay? A well-loved concept, no, sa freedom, class, no, kaning concept sa freedom is during the time of our ancestors, class, no. Kabalo ba mo nga sa una pangandoy kayo nila ang freedom, especially diri sa Philippines, di ba? Di ba sa una, I'm sure all of you know, di ba nga kita gi-colonize. Are we colonized?
Yes, sir, by the Spaniards and Americans.
Okay, daghan Spaniards, kinsa pa ni colonize ato?
Americano.
Americans, Japanese, di ba? Daghan ni colonize, actually daghan ni colonize ato, class, na pay Portugal, unsa pa na daghan ni colonize ato. Pero kanin tulo la jud ang kuan ni sa tawagan nagdugay jud sa tuwa. Ang kada yung Spaniards, ang kaning Spain kay gicolonize na nila for how many years? 300 years. You know that? It's 200 if I'm not mistaken, mga 200 to 300 years na colonize. Sila pinakadugay. That's why most of our cultures gikan nila. No? So kana class mo na tong unay gilong sa tong ancestors sa una, class. Black slavery, are you familiar with black slavery?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, di ba? Sa una, class, even maski gani wala na slavery ng karon, pero still there is discrimination. Every time they feel discrimination, black people in the US, every time they feel this, they can reminisce or they can relate this to the black slavery that they have experienced long time ago. Sa una, class, ang kanang mga black people, they don't have the freedom, class. All of them are slaves. They feel like they exist to be a slave. They exist to be slaves. So muna ilang gilong jud sa una, class, no? Innocent convictions. Asa man innocent convictions? Kana ganing for example gipatay. Yeah, human in some countries, mga good, class, if dili sila kakita sa suspect, magbuot sila og kuan, class. Ang mga pulis kay tungod kay kinahanglan jud og justice sa katong gipatay. It even happen here in the Philippines. Kuan sila mudakop sila og tao nga dili mao inosente ba. And I have even seen kana documentary sa Netflix. Now they have been imprisoned for 30 years, class. Yeah, after 30 years nakagawa sila kay na proven nga di sila moy kuan suspect ato nga crime nga nahitabo 30 years ago, di ba? So kato sila living in the prison for 30 years inside the prison nga being innocent, wa ka nagbuhat og krimen pero gipriso ka dito. They are longing for freedom, di ba? So mo napait kayo siya. Yet freedom is still poorly understood, no, by the present generation, especially kamo. Dili pa kayo ninyo jud kalubos-lubos, dili kayo nato kanang kuan jud kanang tawagan dili kita kahatag importansya sa freedom because we have all the freedom in the world, di ba? Do you believe that? We have the freedom to do anything. No. Excuse me. There is always something in being free. People associate freedom with one's ability to do whatever he or she wants to do. No? A simple definition of freedom is we can do anything. We can do everything. Anything that we want to do. Mo dyan na siya freedom, sir. Well, the concept of freedom, class, is as wide as the universe, no? Grabe din yan. Wide as the universe ang concept sa freedom. Munang lain-lain ang meaning sa freedom. There are so many notions, thinking, no, about freedom. Some claim to be free means to do anything. Like ingon niyo ganiha. Bisag unsa pay epekto, sir, unsa pay consequence ani akong buhaton, sir. Basta freedom ni sir, ako ning buhaton kay freedom. Free man ko, I can do anything that I want regardless of the consequences, regardless of the result. Some say freedom is the ability to exercise one's will towards good. Okay? Others even say there is no such thing as freedom, di ba? Nato ganiya sa video no nga, wala may freedom. It's in the utopia. You know what is utopia? A place that doesn't exist. A place where everything is happiness. No? So kanang freedom, utopia na siya, wala na mo exist. Na iniingon ganiha. Freedom, okay. Sa moto siya, no? So, when was the last time you felt most free, class? Okay. Just one answer. Ninyo.
Sa gamay pa ko, sir. Sa katong makabuhat ko sa ako gusto sa isang mulaag ko ba.
Okay. Itong gamay pa ta. Mo na pinaka most free na mo, no? Nakabulaag pa ka kay... Nakaroon nung di na, di ka palagon nung. Ninyo. Ha? Sige may kaglaag.
Makalakaw na, di katugtan.
Isa to, katong baby pa, pugsog palakaw. Kaya magkamang pa man.
Nyog karon na kalakaw na, di
Makalakaw na, di sa palakon. May klaro, no? May klaro sa mamags papa. Bitaw, kidding aside, tinuod, no? Naiuban nga, katong, daghang bitaw resulti nga, the most frequent sa katos ng children, kay we are, magod, wala pa kita, inosente pa kita ganahon na ba? We don't know anything. We don't know a lot of things yet from the world. So, wa patakabawon sa ato mga limitasyon. So, sino itong giingon ninyo nga naka-feel siya boast free when he was still young. And that's really true. Tinuod na even in some research. So, when was the last time you felt unfree? Okay. Anyone? Marian?
Karon, sir.
Karon.
Daghang mo to. Matunon.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's true, no? No. When was the last time you felt unfree karon jud? Oh, I know class nga mas kapoy jud ning module karon eh. Makaingon jud mas kapoy jud. Maski even for us teachers mas kapoy jud mga module kay ato pa during face-to-face classes man god. At the end of the day, wala kay buhaton, di ba? You have discussed all the topics, naka-exam na mo, naka-record na mo sa iyong score, nakapanglimpyo na mo sa classroom, iguman man na, di ba? And naalang siguro yung mga assignment kinagmay, 10 items or 1 essay question, mura na siya. Some of you some schools don't even give assignments, di ba? So, lahi ra jud siya. This is really different karon. So, mao to yung last time nga felt again free si Mari. Karon, sir, kay daghang module, sir. Okay. Human beings have deep desire to be free, class. No, na sa to ang kasing-kasing. No? Gusto jud tag na freedom. But like I said, freedom is an abused term, no? So, unsa man jud ang freedom, day? Often it says that choices have consequence. Do you believe in that? That choices have consequences. When we make choices, yes.
Always.
Yes. Naa jud ay consequence. No. The big question. Yes, every action has a consequence. The big question is, does this assertion stand or hold an essential truth? Okay, mo na big question. Freedom. Okay, what is freedom? Okay, I hope you're going. Please take note, class. If you have a pen and paper, you can just write it in your paper. You can type it in your phone just for notes. Kuan lang, class. For note taking na. What is freedom? Freedom is a power or right to act, okay, speak or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Okay, freedom. Mo na ang pinaka-basic ka meaning sa freedom, class. Natay right na mo istorya, maghunahuna, istorya o gunahuna nga walay mo pugong ka nato. Mo na siya, class. What is the basic meaning of freedom? Freedom is a word with many meanings, class. Okay? Are you familiar with political freedom? Na political freedom. Na economic freedom. Okay? When can we say that we are economically or financially free? When can we say it? Quick answer. Anyone?
Sir?
Kanus ano to maingon that na daghan kuno classes freedom. Class, listen ha. Daghan kuno classes sa freedom na political freedom, na economical or financial freedom. Nya naapod kunoy sa pamailain nga freedom dire. Social freedom, na emotional freedom, nya napo spiritual freedom. Ang question is, when can we say that we are financially free or we have the financial freedom? Micaela?
Sir, kung pwede na nimo mapalitan na nimo gusto nga wa kay hunahunahon nga at the end kinahanglan day nga nakoy kanang deadline bayranan na nin ana kanang
very good day. Okay. Very good, Micaela. Very good, okay. Well, kanang wala kay kanang di na ka mag-budget, sir. Kanang wala koy budget noon, wala koy utang. Dato na kay kustanan. That's the time that I can say that I am financially free, okay? What about kuan? When can I say that I am spiritually free? Okay, Sheila. You were raising your hand, eh? Arita spiritual freedom.
Ganina ang tatong-atubag sir.
Okay, si Prezi. Okay, Prezi. When can you say that we are spiritually free, day?
Kanang kuan sir, kanang wala na kay kasakit sa uban sir niya. Kanang imo nang gihatag ka Lord imuhang
Laban.
Laban.
para imuhang kuan sir ba. Kanang wala na kay kalain sa uban, kanang feel nimo kay happy na ka.
Okay, very good. Tumpak today. When can we say we're spiritual free? Wala kay kalain sa uban. Pinangga na nimo tanang tao, imo na gi-give up imong kagalingon tus Ginoo. Una siya. The time you can say spiritually free, no? So muna daghan klase sa freedom, dagkalain ang klase sa freedom. Plus na ako'y kanang situation diri class. And then I want you all to analyze this scenario. Okay? Okay, ay guy. Ano man ako nag-flash kaniya, okay? What if, nakadaog kag competition, class? Yehey. What if you won a competition? Prestigious competition, and you were asked to choose just one of the following prizes, class. Okay? Unsa mga prize, okay? You can just type it in the chat box, ha? Unsay pili mo usa ka premium. Kay tagaan ta mo. So, choose a prize. Luxury car, college degree, full scholarship, college degree,
Full scholarship.
or travel, free travel. All expenses paid. Okay, di type in the chat box karon. Pili usa ka premium kay tagaan mo ni kuan. Tagaan mo Alvin. Okay? Basahan nato yung mga kuan comments. Okay, si Sheila, college degree. Myla, college degree, scholarship. Okay? Dili mo ganag auto. Pagwapo sa auto.
Dili sir.
Scholarship yun na.
Kay asa ra man kono daw sir kung makahuman na kag eskwela kung si mama.
Okay. There's a point. Yeah, you have a good point. Okay. Plus points, 10 points to each of the student who wrote their answers here. Okay. Sige. College jud nanda. Wa jud ni answer og trip to kuan na? Trip to Hong Kong or unsa pa na diha or kuan? Car?
Kay want lang man na, sir. Di man na need.
Wow. Ganahan ko sa inyong hunahuna da. Riha jud mo gunahuna tanan, no? Kay wa jud ni answer og lain.
Hindi ko man sa graduation nila.
Nagsabot ha? Which prize will you choose?
Sir, okay ra kay Sir Roy basta na free trip sir, basta na sa Scarlar ngadto mo ko eskwela.
Ay mong free trip 1 week ron. Paulio na mag-after a week, hindi ka kaskwela. Okay, class. Sige, class. Ang yung ipili, class, is full degree scholarship, no? However, class, if you will weigh the pros and cons, no, of each, you will easily realize that one may be better than the other, no? Atong analyze ko na ba. For example, if you choose the luxury car, diba? Palit kag luxury car, inani kay estudyante ka karon. Do you think you'd be able to maintain, class, the maintenance fee, pakasa na kada buwan tag 30,000, gasolina karon mahal kayo. After 3 to 5 years, ilis kag ligid, abot kag mga gasto kag mga 30,000, magpa-change oil ka. Full body sa tawag gani. I-overhaul nimo siya, di ba? Naman jud ay tay magastuhanan class na pa jud ay insurance day at the end of the year marag 10 or 20,000. Do you think you'd be able to maintain that gastos class? Karon estudyante pa ka?
Dili, sir.
Dili jud. So a luxury car is not a good choice, di ba? No? Para nato ha. Kung ari punta sa out of country trip, lingaw siya, di ba? Lingaw siya, pero
Dali ra.
practical siya. Kay human ang sakto.
Dili siya lifetime.
Dali ra.
Let's say a week karon, for example, enjoy kay ka for 1 week free tanan, pero igahuman wala na. It's gone, di ba?
Nag-module.
Igabos ba na yung module na.
Pero asa ra man ko na sa memory sir.
Yes. Whereas a college scholarship would have been the best choice. Wow, best choice jud ni sila da. I hope inyo jud na tinud-on ha. The best choice because it is long-term and useful and beneficial in creating your future. Okay. In choosing which prize to get, you have already exercised your freedom. Okay? You know nga nag-exercise mo sa iyong freedom, di ba? Ability to think good. diba? So making a choice, you have already exercised your freedom. However, it is important to realize that as shown in the example, the choices you make have corresponding consequences. Na siya consequence, like palitan katong kuan. For example, alam na inipili og car. If you are going to choose, you have the freedom to choose man the car, so the consequence is you have to maintain. Makaya ba ni mo maintain? Diba? If you have chosen the out of country trip, the consequence will be ikaw man sa imong trip, you will not be able to get anything na. Diba? You will be back to your normal life. Diba? Whereas kung college scholarship ka, imong kwaon, the consequence would be positive because you will be able to use it long term. No? So, karon class, atong katunon class, unsa din ang prudence class? Prudence. Ato nang i-discuss karon. Okay? We will learn how to exercise prudence in choices. Realize the choices of consequences and demonstrate freedom of choice and consequences of our choices class. Excuse me. Let us define what is freedom of choice. Di ba na freedom class no? Freedom is the right to act, to think. Napoy freedom of choice class. Yan na po di siya limit class. The ability to exercise one's freedom in any manner is called freedom of choice. Kung nagbuhat ka og freedom class, walay bisag unsa nga pamaagi class, that's your freedom, that's your choice, that's freedom of choice. By law class, all human beings are entitled to make decisions. Walay mo pugong nimo makadesisyon ta. Kung gusto nimo mupatay, makapatay jud ka. Kung gusto nimo mulayat, mulayat jud ka. Kung gusto nimo mo successful jud ka. Kung gusto nimo mulakaw, bahalag masukoy mo mama, mulakaw jud ka because we're entitled to make decisions. Whatever decision you choose, the only exception nandiyan ani class to this rule, kaning freedom of choice class, is when an absolute choice harms or delimits the self and others. So muna siya class. We have the freedom of choice. We have the freedom to do anything that we want to decide. Pero na exception class. Kaya naman tayo mga balaod, naman tayo law class, di ba? Sa ato ang kuan. Naman tayo law sa ato ang gipuy-an ani ato ang lugar. Unsa man ang limitation ani class? When ang atong choice makaharm, makadaot kanato or makadaot sa ubang tao. For example nako ganihan. You have the freedom of choice. You have that decision or choice to jump out of a 3-story building, for example, Byron. Okay, but the consequences will definitely harm you. Di ba, class? Or harm others, di ba? Mulayat parong kanya, natay malayatan dito sa ubos po nga nagbarog-barong dito. So you'll be able to harm yourself and harm others. Di ba, class? That is exception to the rule. And that is law that you have violated, class. Okay? Ni-violate kay law. For example, na kay pusil. Katong kuan baron, for example, katong police. Are you familiar with the katong police, katong sinuwes ka?
Yes, sir.
Oo.
Ay,
Kanong mo to? Oh, katong namatay na sa pisuhan ba? 'Di ba? Na siya pusil, he's a policeman class. Okay? Na siya pusil. He has the power to kill, 'di ba? Nagunit ko siya pusil good. He has the power to kill or to give life. 'Di ba? Na siya decision atong time to kill or not to kill. Di ba, class? Yes. Pero he decided to kill the old lady o katong anak sa kuan. So what is the consequence? Grabe kay ang consequence niya, class, di ba? Na-priso siya, number 1, gibasya og maayo, di lang siya, yang anak ko ug yang pamilya. On top of that, na-priso siya, life sentence. Yang human, untat-undat pa jud. Namatay pa jud siya sa prison. Do you think nga namatay ra to siya galit sa prisuhan? Do you think wala to'y foul play dito sa sulod, class?
Di, sir. Lagi, sir.
Of course, di dyan na ito malikayan. Makanuhon na dyan tagna, adyo foul play ato sa prison. Kaya common ka ng inana, class. Common ka ng inana sa prisuhan. So, di ba? What happened to his life? His life became miserable. What do you think would be the effect dito sa iyang pamilya, sa iyang anak? Di ba? Nato si anak ang maldita kaya po. Di ba?
Sir.
What do you think would be the effect? Bati juga effect. If wa lang jud to siya mobuhat ato, if wa siya mo decide, naman siya freedom of choice. No? But the choice that he made is the choice that will harm others or even himself. Diba? In the long run, he was being harmed. So, muna siya, class. The freedom of choice, class, no? Dagan natay freedom of choice. Pag mata pala nato, unsa ba na kung kuan manut, bras ba ko or dili? Maligo ba ko? Mapil ba ako sa akong online class? Mag-answer ba ako module, no? Mukaon ba ako? Mag-diet? Mumata ba ako? Di na lang ako mumata? Tuog na lang ko sa dayon? We have the freedom to do anything that we want. Also include the way one acts towards another. Diba? Kung unsay, natay freedom. Ang ato ang freedom of choice towards another will affect another person class. All forms of action, therefore, are brought about by a person's decision to accomplish them. Okay? Tanan action nga gibuhat nato class. All comes from our freedom of choice. Gikan sa tungkuan. Kay muna man taon na, di ba? Before we do something, we think about it. All decisions class, sa imong kinabuhi, big or small, have corresponding consequences class. Naadyo na siya consequence. Always remember that class. Kana ganing, di man nagkarang ganing maglago ta class, karang maputong na kita or mahangit na kita maayo. Kana, that's the time that nga kinahanglan. We have to think ato yung desisyonan og maayo. If we are going to do this, we have to think of the consequence. Usa kay posibleng consequence because posible magod class nga, let's go back to the example katong police gani. Posible magod nga during that time class, stress ka siya, anxious ka siya. He doesn't know how to decide. Nawa na siya pag sayang saktong na ang pagdesisyon, no? So we have to think over and over again before we do something in class, okay? So this is how prudence gets in class. No? Unsa man jud ni prudence, sir, okay? Ano importante man kini siya? We have to demonstrate prudence in all choices, okay? Prudence class, take note. Prudence class, wa naman ko nagkuha na unsa naman ko. Kita sa freedom of choice, ability to exercise one's freedom in a manner of choice. Freedom of choice, by law, all human beings are entitled to make decision for them, except when there's an absolute choice or harm or delimits the self and others. Okay, freedom of choice. And now prudence class. Okay. May I request someone to read? Okay, Michaela.
Kinsa na Michaela, sir?
Michaela Princess. Duha mo lemon.
Si Princess, sir. Princess.
Oh, Princess.
Yes, sir.
Sige, read it.
Prudence, an act of making good judgment that allow a person to avoid risk, being cautious at all times.
Okay. So, mo din ni ang prudence class. Please take note of this class, ha? Please, kana ganing mo decide to make a freedom of choice. Please always practice prudence, exercise prudence. Making the act of making good judgment class. Judgment, atong husgahan ang atong choices. Daghan matago. Kung if we are in a certain situation, no? Diba? Namtay mga choices, no? Natay freedom to choose. Daghan tag mga options. Ako baka ni siyang, for example, katos nuwes ka baron. Ako baka ni siyang patyon. Ako lang baka ni siyang pukpukon. Ako lang siya ni siyang pasayloon or muhawa na lang ko sa sitwasyon. Daghan kayo options nga pwede niyang buhaton. There comes prudence. Dili mo sud ang prudence. You have to make the perfect or the best judgment class. Para malikayan na to ang risk, malikayan na to ang harm. We have to be cautious at all times. Sa pala meaning sa prudence. Okay, prudence is done to prevent any harm. Okay? Critical to determine the adverse effects beforehand to avoid greater risk. Kay imong analyze sundan, kung ako ning buhaton, nakoy 5 ka decision, choices. Okay? I have the freedom to do all of these 5 choices. But what is the best? Which choices here, which choice can do harm to others? Kana imo nang tangtangon, eliminate na nimo. Okay? Because the ultimate goal of prudence class is to arrive in the best or the perfect judgment. Okay? Exercising prudence. Okay, take note class. How are we going to exercise prudence class? Okay? Exercise prudence in choice implies that one has already criticized all available options. Like atong isulti raw ganiya. Nakay 5 ka options, nakay freedom to do all of that, pero imo na i-critic tag sa tagsa. Sakto ba kani ako ni buhaton, no? Kani ika-2 sakto ba kani siya akong buhaton, kani ika-3 ikaw pati ka-5. Unsa may pinaka the best jud ani? That's prudence class. And a well thought of choice has been made because making choices involves various options, no? It should be realized from the beginning. Sa sugod pa lang, imo na siyang gi-analyze that some things will eventually be given up from the 5 choices. For example, katong at balik ta gani sa katong tulo, katong nakadaog kag preview. Nakadaog kag contest day, nakay tulo ka decision. Okay? Among the 3 class, na jud kay give up, diba? So inyong ipili is college degree man, so gi-give up ninyo ang sakyanan ug ang sa tungo sa
Trip, sir.
Ang trip. Okay, i-give up ninyo. Okay, akong gi-check if napaba mo. Okay. Okay, before coming up with the final decision. Okay. It is important, class. Importante nga na siya. Nga atong i-weigh, atong tibang-tibangon na to ang atong mga desisyon, no? Tibang-tibangon na to ang atong mga unsay ma-contribute sa ato ang choices, unsay mga consequence ka niya, okay, that may arise upon choosing a certain option. Nevertheless, all choices, class, result in a particular effect. Naadyo consequence, class, might be positive or negative, naadyo yung resulta na dyan na siya. Like for example, nag-answer mo sa iyong module, prudent kayo mo sa pag-answer sa iyong module, no? Huwag kayo mo tanan ka ng religious kayo mo, dahil religious kayo mo sa pag-answer sa iyong module. Huwag dyan mo yung sipya, tuway numero ng inyong gibiyaan. What could be the effect? Is it positive or negative? Of course, the effect will be positive. Diba? All the choices we made, class, all the choices that we made, there's always a particular effect. That as a decision maker should be ready. Dapat andam ka nga mo atubang sa consequences nga pwede nga mo gawas ana nga imong mga kuan imong decide, class. For example, class, i-process tani nga mga scenario, class. Scenario 1. Okay? Deciding not to attend the institutional orientation at the start of the school year. Decide ka. Naam dyan meeting, class, or orientation before magsugod ang klase. Sayang, parents papilon pa man gani. Decide ka, ma, di lang ta mga 10 may, kay kapoy man ma, layan ako lawas ma. Okay? You think that is a good, you have two options. You attend or not to attend, but you decided not to attend. You think that is it is the best choice, class?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Why ano ka? I would like to ask the other kuan. Na si Jana Bilyare? Jana, are you there? Basig. Wa pa ni ka bangon eh. Kyle, nanis Kyle. Kyle, are you there, Kyle? Basig na brush pa ni Kyle. Okay, what about kuan? Alvin, natapos si Alvin. Balik na ni Alvin.
Ano man, sir?
Oh, Dong. Deciding not to attend the institutional orientation at the start of the school year. Na, i-decide ka, di na lang kung ma-attend sa kuan sa orientation. Kabalo naman ko balik-balik naman gihapon na siya, sir. Okay? Is it a good decision, no?
Dili, sir.
Dili siya maing decision. Nga naman?
Kay, basin, kuhan day, kanang every school year kay, dili ra ba pareha tanan og orientation, sir, naa magimalahi or naay mabag-o sa orientation. So dapat og naay ingana, sir, dapat mo attend gyud ka, sir, kay basin sa inyo school, for example, ang mga sa inyo school na bag-o mga rules nga.
Okay.
Na may wala na sa inyo ra nasabtan sa una kay mga daan ra.
Okay,
So
good.
kung makabuhat ka og kuan nga sa kuan sa school, sir, may bong jud ka, sir, nga no na kay violation sa school.
Okay, that's it. Wa man ka ni apply sa orientation, so di jud ka kabala unsay mga balaod. Very good dong ha, salamat dong. Okay. The moment you decide, class, nga di ka mo-attend sa school orientation, di ka makabaw sa mga butang na pambuhaton sa eskwelahan. Wa ka kabaw nga modular na data day gato kag face to face pata, di ba? Wa ka you have no idea what to do, di ba? So it's a very wrong decision. You have two options, to attend or not to attend. Okay, but you had decided not to attend, so you will never know the things that will be done in the school year. Okay? Wa ka kabaw sa atong vision mission. Wa ta kabaw nga nanda daytay school him. Wa ka kabaw sa rules and regulations nato. Wa ka kabaw nga dapat ang module iuli Lunes, di ba? Kay wa man ka mo attend sa kuan, sa atong orientation. Okay? Ang kari atong orientation class, this is a chance for students to learn the things. Okay? How the things work at our new school, most especially sa atong mga incoming grade 11, no? Kana sila wa man jud na sila hanaw because lahi man sila sports track man ta, di ba? Lahi man jud ang atong kuan, lahi ang atong curriculum, lahi atong mga balaod, no? Kung ni-appeal pa ka sa orientation, be able to know unsay pamaagi sa eskwelahan and meet other students as well, di ba? Kay during the orientation, makita man imong uban kuan, ang uban estudyante, of course, physical distancing. Another maila-ila pa jud nimo ang unsa yung mga teachers, di ba? So, the result is positive, di ba? Maayo siya. What about the second scenario? Atong itanaw na second scenario. Okay, scenario 2. Playing online games or Mobile Legends instead of studying for a difficult exam. Okay, is this you have two options, class. You have the freedom of choice, di ba? to play online games or to study for difficult exam, but you still chose to play online games instead of studying the difficult exam. Okay, why? What do you think will happen, class? Why do you make the wrong decision in this scenario? Let's try to ask one. Mitch, Koso.
Sir,
Yes, Day.
is that to, sir?
Okay, Day. Scenario 2. Scenario 2, Day. Playing online games, you have the decision, naka difficult exam. Okay? You have the option to study for this exam or play online games, but still you opted to play online games instead of studying for the difficult exam class. Difficult exam.
May posibilidad nga mahagbong ko sa exam, sir.
Okay.
O
Okay, that's it.
ako pilion ang magduwa og online games.
Okay, Day. Okay, thank you for your answer. The moment na decide ka nga mag-play og Mobile Legends instead of answering a difficult exam, the consequence ani class, no, will make you fail your examination. Okay, tumpag Day. Thank you, Day Koso. Mo-fail kasi mo exam and it will also cost you unsa man kanang gasigi na kag inatubang sa kuan sa imuhang cellphone or sa imong computer. In the long run, there's a possibility nga madawat ato mata, right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Diba? Kaya mag-emit din na sa graduation, di ba? That's why most of the kuan sa mga bata nagkuan na nagsulod na sila glasses kay gagmay pa man kay 2 anyos pa 3 anyos patanawa naman og kuan. Patanawa naman og cellphone kana mga cocomelon. Unsa pa na diha, baby bus. Di ba? So they are already exposed in radiation at a very young age class, di ba? So poor eyesight because of the gadget radiation. When you study before examination, you will be developing a good work ethic, di ba? This is a good thing because it will not only help you out in the short term, but it will also help you in the later life. Kay tanan atong gikatunan diri sa eskwelahan, it's not only about kuan man academics, di ba class? We're also learning the value of discipline, di ba class? Prudence in making the correct decision, in making good or best judgment. So dili lang ito magamit in a short period of time, but also in the long period of time. When you have a good work ethics class, you will be more dedicated to what you do, and you will be willing to do what other people won't do, no? No, kayong uban tao, focus ra kayo sa pagduwa, Mobile Legends karon, pero ikaw nagpalahi jud ka, nag-study jud ka sa imong difficult exam. So mas learned ka nga pagkatao class. You know better than these people because you are looking at your future. Nagtan-aw kasi mo kaugmaon nga kaning pagduwa na kog online games, this will not help me in the long run. Okay? I hope inyo ning ma-instill sa inyong nahuna because I'm sure a lot of you are playing online games, are putting online games jud before their studies. Okay? I'm sure murag majority jud sa mga estudyante karon inaani na karon, even my kids, I'm really having difficulty pud nga pag disiplina nila about ani kay kung pating tuo na gay wa na maghilak na pero paduwaon lipay kay tanan, no? So mo na siya. Next scenario 3, making fun of your classmates and being caught by the teacher. Di ba? Daghan kini tanan mga bully, di ba? Ngano man jung naaji bully? You have the decision to bully or not to bully. Pwede man ka di ka mo bully, maminaw lang ka sa teacher or mo observe lang ka sa imong mga classmates. Ngano mo bully man jud ka? Okay? Why is this Why is this a negative? Why will this scenario will lead to a negative consequence man jud, di ba? What do you think would be the effect ani class? Let's try to ask kuan. Okay, Sheila Bakunal.
Bullying can cause anxiety or stress.
Okay, that's correct, Day. Thank you, Day, Sheila. Okay, bullying can cause anxiety or stress to other people. Kay the bully person is already anxious and stressed. Do you know that? Kanang bully nga tao, Day, class, anxious na siya, class, stressed na siya. There's a lot of things going on in his or her mind, class. When you bully another person, you are putting stress to other person also. Remember, class, that bullying causes significant emotional, psychological, and physical stress. Just like any other victim of bullying, kids experience anxiety, fear, depression, okay, low self-esteem. Mo na ilahang kuan, no? Kana ganing tan-aw na to, no, ang bully no nga murag sila'y hari, murag sila'y dako-dako, but sa ilahang ko inner self nila, no, ubos kaya na sila self-esteem class. Bully po na sila sa ilahang balay class. Mostly class, based on studies, no? And research, ang kaning mga bullies, they have been bullied for quite a long time diri sa ilang balay. Ilan ang gi-project class kung unsay ilang nabati, unsay ilang na-experience sa balay, ilang gi-project adto sa ilang mga friends or sa eskwelahan. Mo na sila the reality class sa kaning mga bully. So they also experience physical symptoms, mental health issues, and struggle academically. So pati dyan siya class, no? Sorry. So the consequences of making choices for a while. Okay. So the consequences of making choices, no, not consequences class, could be negative or positive consequence, no? But the scenarios that we have discussed, no, those scenarios are katong mga negative consequence, negative ang consequences because the choices made are also negative, di ba? While exercising the freedom to choose is attainable by all people, it should always be realized that decision making is linear, complex kayo siya class, no? Ang pag-decide gani, dapat yung sahib no, pa-decide ron ta man, di ko ka-decide, I cannot choose. Unsa jud ako yung sa atong parents, unsa man jud imong gusto ko na kurso day. Ha? Ganahan ka mag-nurse baron, na ka mag-teacher, ganahan di ka ka-decide, di ka. You don't know what to choose. Even me when I was still in high school, when I graduated high school, I cannot decide. Unsa jud nga profession akong pilion, no? So mo na to ako ang panahon sa una, kuha na jud to siya. Go with the flow jud to siya. Kung unsay may sikat atong panahon na, mo ra jud gipili nako. Kay mo na diha naglisod og decide. No kay complex kay ang pag-decide class. It is complex because it requires accountability and commitment. When you decide, you have to accept the consequence ana imong decision. Bantay mo karon class sa social media, no? People's actions are more reflected in public. Diba ka? Naalaga ni tayo naalaga ni tayo kontra, wala i-post din sa social media. Nag-away ra gani sa uyab, diba? Or gibugan, post yun sa social media, post din og mga maoy nga mga nga mga tawag gani, mga quotes, diba? No, familiar mo ani? Or some of you do this?
Maila, sir, Maila.
O yan na si Maila. Wow, manggoday, no? Yeah. But it is very common.
Sir.
Ha? Common kinistanan karon jud nga. Tanan i-post na jud sa social media, no? You have the freedom to decide to post or not to post or just keep it by yourself. Pero imo jud gi-post nimo imong kwan. No? But don't you know class nga kani mga tao na nga mo tanaw sa social media, in reality wala ra jud sila paki-class. Every time we log into your account, it will not be a surprise to see posts about wrongdoings of people. Daghang kita makita sa internet karon, no? Sa especially sa Facebook, mga videos, no, mga usahay videos nga kanang brutal kistanan, like ato laging police lagi nga namusil og tiguang brutal kistanan, daghang kay mga wrongdoings. You may have seen videos of student bullying a classmate. Kanumdo mo atong taekwondo nga bata nga ang bully og
katong iya sir,
bugbog to. Sikat di kay tanan, di ba? Mantay mo to, bullying classmate. Dagdag sa internet, adults being unprofessionally mean to their workmates or parents abusing their children. Atong mga police killings na caught sa kamera. In these situations, class, the people doing unacceptable acts were judged and criticized by netizens. Daghan kayo mga bash, di ba? 1,000 comments din, 1,000 mga dislike, mga hate. Kita dyan na to dito. Some have become so popular that they cannot go out in public because they can easily be recognized and mobbed. No? Tungod sa ilang pagkasikat sa Facebook, sa ilang wrongdoing, di na sila kagawas class. Kaya nga no, ano man, kay sa gawa, mauwa, sakto na, sa ilang kauwaw, naapoy mga death threats po nila po, na yung mga death threats. Kay ang uban tao mga kuan lang, mga spectator lang sa Facebook, mga watcher lang, nagdumot na nila, nag-contain og kalagot na nila. Pero mo atong kuan, atong sa Cebu katong lechon package. Familiar mo na?
Yes, sir.
Familiar mo na, di ba? Di ba?
Tagawa ng chicken cordon bleu.
Chicken cordon bleu. Katong sagpaog unsa to. Sagpaog chicken
escabeche
diba? Sikat kito siya, diba? Sikat kay siya, but it's a wrongdoing, diba? Wrongdoing ba to? Tungod siyang kasikat, gihimo og kuan niyang balay, gihimo og tourist spot. Kabantay mo dito na mga post na mga tour dito nga naman mag-selfie siyang balay. Naaman sa Facebook dito nag-selfie niya. Human, of course, naidagang hate comments, na mga death threats, naidagang naglagot niya. I'm sure kato nga babae nga tag-iya atong balaya, dili na ganahan mo gawas, mahadlok na mo gawas tungod sa wrongdoing nga yang gibuhat. It is clear, class, that people experiencing these situations have not made the right choices. What did this sila? Diba? Imagine they are already professionals, they're already adults, but still they have not made the right choices, class. Police, di ba? Nag-eskwela for how many years, nag-take og board exam, ipasar sa kadaghan nga training, psychological exams, still made the wrong choice. Giposilya po niya itong tiguang. Di ba? Katong kuan sa pamailain, katong for example, katong taekwondo nga bully, di ba? He has all the power to save or to save or to do harm to anyone, but still he chose to do harm to anyone. Diba? Muna. So kana ganing natay power gani nya atong gamiton sa bati nga bati nga kalihukan, no? Making the wrong choices. Okay? Regarding their actions, apart from the freedom to choose, it is also relevant to know that freedom does not stop at making a choice, class. It's a while. Okay, now we move on to human actions, class, versus acts of man. Diba? Nag-ingon, apil man sa itong objective ganihan. Nag-ingon ko nyo ganihan, sama din yung human actions day and acts of man. Murag parehas sa man sila, gibali-bali raman sir. But, class, they are very, very different, class. Okay, let's discuss what are the difference between these. Okay, human actions versus acts of man. Okay, an act that is performed, class, only by a human being and thus is proper to man. Okay, not every act that a human being does is this distinctively human act. Okay, okay, libog class no. Acts of man kuno class. Acts of man, actions shared by humans and other animals. Okay, na di actions nga babuhat. Action sa tao nga babuhat pud sa animal de. Example, vegetative acts. Unsa man ning mga vegetative acts? Kanang pag-grow, class ba? Kanang pag-grow sa plants, pag-grow sa cellular division, mo man atong pagkuan na to, di ba? That's an act of man, that is also act that is shared by other animals. Okay, mabuhat man nila, mo-vegetate man sila, di ba? And acts of perception and emotion, class. Na di perception ng animals, class? Perception. Yes, perception. Makaanaman sila senses, di ba? They can touch, they can smell, they can hear. I-share ni nato nila, class. Naatani nga act. This is an act of man, but these are also shared to other animals. Kaya naman sila perception. They have also emotions, di ba? Do you think animals have emotions? Class?
Yeah.
Yes, na sila emotions. Muhilak maging iro, di ba? So na sila emotions. So acts of man gani, class, actions shared by humans and other animals. Okay? Whereas human acts, class, kani class, ato ara jud ni. Okay? When a human being does such as they're called human human act refers to the appropriate actions of human beings. Appropriate meaning sakto or dili?
Sakto.
Sakto. Okay, ang sakto nga binuhatan sa tao, that's a human act. Okay? What makes an act performed by a human being distinctively a human act, okay, is voluntary act. Okay? Unsa man sa ning voluntary act, class? Voluntary act is under the control or direction of the will, excuse me, which is proper to man. Voluntary act, from the word itself, root word voluntary, volunteer. Okay? Voluntary, ikay ni volunteer ka nga mubuhat ana nga butang. So that is a voluntary act. Excuse me, class. One can therefore identify the human activity with the voluntary act. Okay? Again, a voluntary act continues either by the will, okay? Will, atong kagustuhan, like an act of love or act of choice, di ba? Ni sulti barong ka sa imuhang kuan, sa imong feelings adto sa imuhang kuan sa usa ka tawo. That's a voluntary act, di ba? Because you have the free will, you have the choice to do it or not. From another human power that may be motivated by the will, either by an act of an intellect or by the sense of reasoning or emotion, okay? The act of intellect and the the sense of reasoning or emotion. Okay? So arita sa So that's all, ha? Acts of man, human acts, voluntary act. Please take note of that. When we say act, acts of man, actions shared by humans and other animals. Like for example, the vegetation, perception, and emotion, because these are also being done by animals. Human acts that are solely or distinctively done only by human. Okay? For example, dili man pwede mo rason ang iro. Do you think animals can reason out?
No, sir.
No, of course not. That's a human act, di ba? Di mas sila pwede mangutanan nimo nga kuan sir, unsa imuhang kuan ron? Asa makamulakaw? Di mas sila maka-istorya, di ba? They can perceive, they have senses, but they can smell, they can see, but they can hear, but they cannot talk, di ba? The talking is distinctively a human act. A voluntary act pod kuno is motong nai-direksyonal sa tong will na to, kagustuhan na to nga buhaton. So arita sa definition ni Aristotle, distinction niya sa voluntary and involuntary actions sayo na kay ni sir, kay voluntary gani meaning ni volunteer ko nga ako anang kagustuhan nga buhaton, involuntary di na nako kagustuhan, wa ko wala ko mag desire or wala ko will nga mubuhat ana sir. So voluntary actions. So sa voluntary actions na duha ni ka kuan distinction, the voluntary and compulsion class. When we say voluntary, is performed from will and reason. Same ra jud nga meaning ganiha class, from will and reason. Whereas compulsion is both ni siya voluntary and involuntary. So when can we say that it is a compulsion act? Okay? Diba? Again ha, voluntary actions performed from the will and reason. When we say compulsion pod, mix ni siya class involuntary. Kuya, wag na sir, mix siya sir. Ano man? For example, it is more voluntary class. Voluntary na siya nga action class if the desire and choice has been performed, okay? Imuha ng will, gi-perform mo siya. Involuntary if it has considered preferences or alternatives. Alternative na ning uban, okay? Example na, ako yata example ha, please take note. You're asked to perform a crime and your options are either you do it, okay, buhaton mo ang crime, and your family survives. Okay, naay crime, kana. Patya na siya, patya ning usa ka tawo, patya na siya niya, human common kinas mga salida no. Patya na siya, imong family mo survive. Di nimo siya patyon ako imong family, di ba? So that's example of compulsion class, okay? Asa man ang mix ang, di ba? Ang compulsion is mix siya voluntary and involuntary. Voluntary siya, you have the will. You have the will to perform the crime, okay? And the involuntary act, masave ang mong family. Okay? Wala kay gibuhat anak class. Wala kay gibuhat nga. You did not do anything to save your family. Okay? That's why it's called involuntary. The voluntary act, katong will nga imo gibuhat nga nagpatay ka. Okay? Muna siya, mura gani siya kuan class ka nang unconsciously doing something. Unconsciously doing something, that's involuntary. So we move to involuntary actions. So involuntary actions gani class, these are acts done under a force or coercion and ignorance where the doer failed to understand the effect and feel sorry on the result. Okay? Unsa man ni siya common class? Okay? Unsa man ni siya nga kuan mga situation? What about the kuan class? Kani mga bata class. Do you think involuntary actions applies to them? Mga kids. Mga innocent pa jud tanan. Yes. Okay, applicable sila because they don't know the consequence yet. Wa pa sila kabaon sa mitabo nila if they are going to do a certain act. Or for example, ang bata po gipugos siya. Okay, you have to do this ha. Hata jud ni or else di katagaan og kuan, di katagaan og bawon baro for example, di ba? So it is being done out of your will class. Wala dili sa imong kagustuhan kay tungod gipugos ka or gisugo ka. That's involuntary actions class. Okay? Classifications of involuntary actions. Okay, let's move to classification. Under compulsion, okay, circumstances which are beyond the control of the agent and contributes none to the action. Okay, beyond the control of the agent and contributes none to the wala kay gi-contribute anang action. Next, through ignorance of particular circumstance. Ignorance, same na ganyan, ignorance. An example, gubalik ta sa kuan be. I'll give you an example ha. Okay. Under compulsion, what's the example sa under compulsion? The meaning of under compulsion is circumstances which are beyond the control of the agent and contributes none to the action. Example, ang naikuan gikidnap baron ka. Gikidnap ka. No, wala, out of your control naman na siya. Di na makaka-resist kay gihikot man ka. You have the freedom, you have been call this limited or suppressed by your freedom, di ba? Kay gikidnap man ka, it is impossible to resist kay gihikot man ka, so that's under compulsion. So mo ni siya sa involuntary actions niya. Next is through ignorance. Excuse me. Through ignorance of particular circumstances. Example, a man na tao no nangawat. Ignorant siya sa luwa siya kabaw nga kung mangawat siya mapriso dahil siya. Okay? Kung sa asa man siya applicable, those people that are naay problema sa pangutok, di ba? Wa siya kabaw nga kung mangawat siya, mapriso dahil siya. Or kanang nahitabo karon ni Alec Baldwin. I'm sure some of you have heard no? Naikuan ba kanang naitaping ba? Si Alec Baldwin is a very famous kanang Hollywood actor. Karon ha bag-o lang ni siya, current event siya. Nagkuan sila, nagtaping sila. Yahuman sa ilang taping naa siya ay kanang action scene. No, nasa action scene na nagunit siya pusil. Okay? Pagpabuto niya sa pusil, namatay ang iyahang cinematographer. Ang katong naa siyang atubangan nga cameraman. Ngano man? Kay wala nila mga ma-check di ay nga naa day bala didto sa sulod. Pero do you think mapriso si Alec Baldwin? Class?
Dili sir kung murag accident mo sir.
Is it a voluntary or involuntary action, class?
Involuntary.
Yes, it's involuntary.
Involuntary sila kay wala man siya kabalo.
Wala man siya kabalo, class. Di ba?
Abi mo niya guwati bala.
Yes, thank you, Eric. Nakadungog mo na nga balita karon? Wala mo kadungog ka na, no? Kadungog karon. Naa na siya karon bag-o lang si Alec Baldwin. If you're going to search in the internet, naa na siya karon. Wa ko kabaw if unsa na ang progress sa iyang ana nga case karon. But I don't know if he will be kay wala man na. Props biya na siya. Supposed to be props ra unta na siya. Although pwede ra jud siya tinud-anay nga pusil, pero wa lang jud untay bala. Pero mostly gani ang uban props di man jud gali tinud nga pusil. I don't know why nganong tinuod nga pusil ang I don't know why nganong tinuod nga pusil ang gibutang. No basig na ay basig binuangan baro silang props man ana ba. So that is a perfect example no sa katong ignorance of a particular circumstance kay wala man siya idea. So arita sa human freedom and obligation. So okay class, may I ask anyone to read this while I'm going to drink water for a minute? Sige, Marian, please go read there.
Okay. According to the Mother's Head, freedom and obligation are two indispensable conditions for morality to occur. Freedom is understood to be present when one is choosing a course of action and he or she is taking full responsibility for consequence of his actions.
Thank you, Marian, for reading that. Okay. According to Mother Shed kuno. So mo to freedom and obligation dili ni siya indispensable. These are two indispensable conditions for morality to occur. Freedom no makita na to bisag as course of action. But of course in freedom with kung naamgay with great power comes great responsibility, naapoy with great freedom. Naamjutay freedom, we have the freedom to do anything. With great freedom comes with great responsibility also, or great consequence. Do you believe in that, guys?
Yeah.
With great freedom comes great responsibility or consequence. Naay consequence sa tanan natong decision. Importantly, this is anchored the individual's moral and rational capacity. Ano sa man yung moral, class? Moral to do the right thing. Ang sakto nga pag-abuhaton mo na ang morality, moral obligation or moral deed. In several sa atong mga ethical tradition, class, freedom can be said to be present sorry, if the human person is free in making choices in the realm of morality, in making choices with regards to determining what is the right thing to do in situations and circumstances in his own life. Of course, kita no mga kuan naman ta, most of us are already adults, 18 and above. Kabaw naman jud ta unsay sakto nga buhaton, the right thing to do, the moral thing to do, most especially in situations. For example, karon pandemic, alert level 3. Okay? Kabaw ta nga kuan nga gibawalan ta nga mo laag-laag, di ba? So of course we are already kuan old enough or adult enough to know what to do, di ba? So although ganahan jud kita mula kay freedom mo lagi nato, we have the freedom to decide, freedom of choice, but we should weigh our option. We have to be prudent kas mulaag pa ko. Di kumulaag ko, there's a possibility nga makakuha ko COVID. Yeah? If di kumulaag aturo ko sa balay, pagtuon ko na ako makatuunan, di pa kumakuha sa atin. Diba? That's just an example of kuan class ba? Of weighing down things or being prudent in the decision that we make, no? In exercising our freedom. Yeah. We have to take full responsibility, class, of our actions. So, hence, class, an action is not in the full extent of morality. If a person does something while his or her freedom and rationality is altered or modified. Okay? Next. Okay, now we move on to intellectual choice versus practical choice. Okay? Isa may kalahian niya, sir. Okay? Okay, class. Atong dali ra ni siya, class. Intellectual choice gani, class. Palagi nating isipin intellectual choice from the word intellect. Unsa man ni siya, class? Is it brain or heart?
Brain.
Brain, kay utak. Kay utak yung yung pinapagalaw natin dito, class. Intellectual choice or utak. Okay? This is a choice, class. Okay. This is a choice, class, which is deliberately selected based on moral standpoint. Okay? What is the right thing to do? Basically, they are normative. When we say normative, karang mga normal lang. Normative answers about what we ought to do from a moral system. We already know what is the right thing to do. We already what is normal, no? Kay we have been living in a normal system, good, di ba? That we uphold and its moral principles. Kaya nagutay mga prinsipyo sa kinabuhi. These normative answers, class, would take into consideration the behavior which the society will accept. Diba? Kabaw man taon say accepted society. Is stealing accepted in the society? Class?
No.
Of course not, diba? Di man accepted sa society yung pagpangawat, diba? We are there. So if since stealing is not accepted, dili yun ta mangawat. Okay? We have been instructed by our society or our government to stay at home, to practice personal hygiene. Of course, we have to follow it, di ba? Kay abo man tamo man ni siya ang normal karon. This is the new normal man, no? Okay. So, okay. For example, class na ko ihata example ha. When you are to decide in a moral issue na issue ba sa may issue, for example, same-sex marriage barang class, no? You can try to give intellectual choice, di ba? As a normative answer, makatag man ta. No? Or you, what is same? Do you what do you call this? Do you agree? You agree with same-sex marriage? Of course, if mo tanong ka mo tag sa tagsaron, daghan o nagkalain yung mga tubag, di ba? Ay mo agree, na mo disagree, mo rason di mo ganahan kay wala sa Bible, na mo agree kay love lagi kuno, di ba? So nagkalain-lain, I'm sure nagkalain-lain ang inyong kuan, nagkalain-lain ang inyong choice or inyong tubag basing on the normative answer what is accepted in our society. Okay? Here, class, you're simply assuming, nag-assume ra ka, class, because you are not on that situation. You're not facing that actual situation. Dili man ka kuan, you're not into same-sex marriage man, di ba? Di ba? So, you have not experienced it, class. That's intellectual choice, class. Kung unsa lang tong imong nahibaw-an, class. Unsa imong nahibaw-an about anang topic, kung sa imong gisulti. Di ba? In this case, the answers that you are inclined to give are prescriptive, class. Mo na naadri, class, intellectual choice are prescriptive, imaginative, hypothetical. When you say hypothetical, it's not proven yet. Dili pa siya tinuod. It's just an idea, class. Imagination na siya, class. So, class, I have a question here. Intellectual choice. Is intellectual choice a choice of reality, class?
Yes, sir.
Is it a reality? Okay, can you expound? Can you explain, Ms. Marian? Is it based on reality? Intellectual choice?
Yes, sir. Kay more man gapon imong na kumbaga ang imong nasabtan.
Imong nasabtan or na-observe na to, no? Okay. But when you give an intellectual choice, Day Marian, does it when you give an intellectual choice, Day, where do you get the answers from from asa man ka magkuha og mga tubag class. Day. When you give an intellectual, like for example, you are being asked by kuan, you are being asked your idea about same-sex marriage baron for example. No, asa man ka nagkuha og idea nga wala man ka nag-experience ana?
By the society, sir.
Okay, very good. Sa society or even from the textbook, di ba? Textbook or from the teachings nga gihatag sa mga teacher. So it's, thank you, Marian. So it's purely intellectual din siya, class. Intellectual choice. You have not experienced this yet. Now we move on to kuan, class. Practical choice. Okay, when we hear the word practical, dapat practical ta karong panahon na, dapat di ta magkuan sa 6 itong kwarta, I have to budget, di ba? Mo man atong common nga madunggan na about the word practical, no? Kung ganiha, class, kung ang intellectual choice is brain or utak, ang practical choice po, class, is puso ni siya, class, heart. Okay? This is a choice which is born out of psychological and emotional considerations. Unlike the previously discussed type of choice, which is the intellectual choice, class, ang kaning practical choice are made when confronted with the actual situation. Okay? Naka-experience na jud ka, class, na-experience jud yung situation. Nanadyo ka diha. Like, ganiha, kung wala ka you are being asked your idea about same-sex marriage, you're just giving your opinion based from the observation from the society. But you have not been there. Wala ka dito. Whereas sa practical choice, class, nana ka diha. I-experience jud mo siya. Okay? For instance, class, example, a person may be so engulfed by emotions, no? Palitan, kuan, kanang, for example, katulan lang kang nuwis ka, katong pulis, katong nagpatay ba? Nana siya dito ng sitwasyon, class. Okay? Nana siya dito ng sitwasyon. Ang iyahang, tungod sa, a lot of mixed emotions kaya na-experience niya. There are a lot of choices nga pwede niya pagpilian. Pwede niya pasayloon, pwede niya biyaan, pwede niya patyon, pwede niya kanang, hapakon lang ba niya, di ba? Daghan kasi choices. But still, he failed to make the right choice, class. Okay? Because why? Because he was already affected by his emotions, no? Sa psychological nga kuan. Most probably, class, kana ganing maka-experience og minana, no? Na ay mga psychological mga dilemma kana sila. So, they have been struggling, no, during that time, pressured na kay sila. This is still the same, no, with kana ganing kuan. Kanang people who are very prone to suicide, no? They are in that situation. They have a lot of choices. Nasa choices nga pwede nila di ni buhaton or buhaton ako, but still they opt to do it, no? That's because of the psychological and emotional stress nila, class. That's the practical choice. Okay, class. We are already done with our topic, no? But before, this is still part of our objectives to what do you call this? To solve this problem, to apply the concepts that we are learning through hypothetical nga mga situations, class. Okay? So, class, unsa inyong nakita diri, class? Unsa inyong nakita diri, class?
Sir, night train, tapos ang sa left side kay nay usa ka tawo nagigda dan, ang sa right side kay nay lima ka tawo nagigda dan.
Okay, thank you. Okay, unsa kaning problemahan no? Okay. Unsa kaning problema? So, class, this is the trolley problem, class. Night train, no, runway trolley barreling down the railway tracks. Ahead on the tracks, there are 5 people tied up, no? Na 5 ka tawo, unable to move. The trolley is headed straight for them sa 5 ka tawo. Nga nagbarog ka diha, okay? Just try to imagine nga nagbarog ka diha, na i-lever, nagunit ka sa lever. No? Yung imo tong i-pull ang lever, class, mo switch siya. Mo adto siya sa usa ka tawo ra. So mas-save ang 5 ka tawo, class. Okay? Nakay 2 ka options, class. Do nothing and allow the trolley to kill the 5 people. Nakay you have the freedom of choice, ha? Just apply our katong i-discuss ato ganiya. You do nothing and allow the trolley to kill the 5 people on the main track, or imong i-pull ang lever to divert the trolley onto the side track where it will only kill 1 person. Mas save ang 5. Okay? Tan-aw niyo, class. Asa mga ethical ani, class? What is the right thing to do? Ha? Ha? What is sa may ethical ani?
Person. Stop the trolley.
Sige, sa man, be. Frezi, di mo ma-stop ang trolley. Padayon naman dito siya, Frezi.
I would choose ko answer. One person.
You will choose one person. Remember ha, kanisla strangers na siya, di mo sila mga kaila. Okay. So you will choose one person. Yung what if ka ng one person, imuha ng papa.
Sir,
Di ka na.
Sir, stranger.
Kasi example lang ba? Example lang, one person against 5 people, pero ang kaning one person, imuhang relative. Unsa may buhat ni mo day? Crazy. Isod kay decide mo. Ha?
Ako, stop and truly. Ako na lang magpakuan, sir. Sacrifice.
This is a very hard. Okay, sige, Alvin.
Ang ako ko answer kay is ako i-switch ang liver to ato sa one person niya.
Yeah.
Ko answer dili man na kanang na magid na possible nga ang kanang train kay makahunong dayon kay.
Napa may liko.
Dugay man kay na makaliko ang train sir. So
di man ma-stop dong.
Di na basta. Dagano lang kanang usa ka concert. Dagano nang usa ka tawo sir niya imo tabangan.
There's no the option jud is to save only the one person or kaning 5 ka tawo mo ora jud siya. Ora jud siya ang kuan.
Bawi na lang next time, sir.
Wala ko yung mga processing question diri. I know galisod jud mo decide, maski ako galisod kong decide ani because the whatever decision you make still you are killing a nakakay ka ng there's an involuntary act ba nga nipatay ka, di ba? Because you did not do anything to
mo.
Grabe ang konsensya may ha. Kinsa man ako pakutanong ani na si Marian. Okay, day Marian.
Yes, sir.
Upon analyzing or processing this scenario, was there freedom on your part?
Yes, sir. Kay I have the freedom to choose one, sir, if kinsa ako ang i-save.
Okay, you have the freedom to choose kinsa imong i-save. Okay. Day, Sheila na si Sheila? Day?
Yes, sir.
Day, Sheila.
Sheila, mata.
Sheila. Unsa may imong i-consider ani day? What are your considerations in making the right choice?
So, life, sir.
Unsa imong gi-consider? Unsa imong gi-consider pag pagbuhat og saktong desisyon ani? Ha? Sa man day? What about the others? Frezi, you are raising your hand,
Wala man, sir.
What,
Pero i-consider na ko, sir, is ang life sa kanang 5 person.
That's it.
Ang
Yes,
life.
sakto. Actually, gusto ni Sheila gani ang life kuno sa tao. That's what mo yung gi-consider ang life sa tao, no? But one life and 5 lives are all lives, di ba? Life, so listo siya kasi ang mag-decide.
Sir,
Okay.
cancer kanang if ang kanang 5 ka person sir is gikidnap para na siya sir niya ang kanang usa ka person sir kay kanang makasasa kayo sir niya.
Nag-suicide.
Dili, John. Dahil
Okay.
gyapon kay
Atong i-apply ang intellectual choice o ang practical choice. Okay.
Sir, gumo ng phone, sir.
Intellectual choice, 'di ba? Ang intellectual ang intellectual choice mango, 'di ba? When you're not on that situation, like gani example, same-sex marriage, you are being asked by your idea about same-sex marriage without even being in that situation, 'di ba? But practical choice, you are being asked your idea about same-sex marriage being in that situation. Okay, nakuha ninyo?
Sir.
Okay, good. Kung atong i-apply ang intellectual choice, wa man ta ka-experience ani. Wala man ta dito ang situation. Unsa kay atong decision gahan? Of course, kung ako'y pakutan-on ninyo, ako teacher, pakutan ko ninyo, by intellectual choice will be to save the 5 people. Diba? Because we are only allowed to save either the 5 people or the 1 person. The 5, diba? So if you're going to ask me, wala akong i-choose. I'm intellectual, I'm going to choose that kuan. The 5 people against 1, diba? But if I would be on that situation, practical choice, taka dito, you think you'd be able to still do that, class?
Dili, no.
No?
Tungod
na may stress, na anxiety, na tension, di ba? So, ang imuhang judgment ma-clouded. There's a possibility that you'd be able to even save that one person against 5, di ba? tungod lisod siya pag-decide. Lahi siya kung intellectual choice or practical choice, class. Okay, class, I'm sure nakutaw na dyan yung maayon yung mga utok diha, no?
Suda sa gay karon
Okay,
ako
suda. Oh, class. Okay, class, to review, class, our discussion for today, class, it's all about freedom nandiyan, class, freedom to exercise the proper freedom of choice. Unsa gitong prudence gani? Prudence, what is prudence?
The judgment, sir.
Very good. To make good judgment, the best judgment, we should come up to the best judgment, and we should first, unsa gito, before we make a choice, we have to analyze the possible consequence of that decision. Dapat i-analyze nato siya, class, ha? Okay, since it's already 11 naman eh. Ani na lang, class. We already done with our topic. I would like to congratulate all of you, ha. I will give all viewpoints for your medical exam basing sa atong pretest ganiha ug sa kaning mga answers ninyo diri sa atong chat box. I will be recording this, class. This is already recorded. Ako ning i-take note ang mga names sa mga tao nga sa mga students nga ni write silang answers dito sa chat box.
Medical exam, sir. Basa mo ko sir.
Class. I will give you actually, class. This is the summative exam that I have made through Google Form. This is already part your medical exam. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I'm sure that all of you will get this perfect. Okay? I have given you the notes naman to study. Then sa karon pa jud nag-discuss pa jud ta. I'm sure you will get this all right. So class, I will be allowing you to answer this for only one hour since napamantay kuan. Actually I will end our class at around mga 11:05. Then I will give you the link to the Google form. I-answer lang siya 1 hour class kay sayo na din siya, class. Okay? Okay, but before we end, I want you all to turn on your cameras again for our final nga pictorial. Okay, from Evil 8. Okay, guys, thank you so much sa pag-attend. I hope you have learned a lot of things today. Have a good day, class. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.